One of the most iconic items of clothing in the 20th century, the little black dress is considered the perfect investment piece. It stood the test of time with its versatility and became a staple found in every woman's wardrobe. When we think of the little black dress, we think about how simple it is and how a few pieces of accessories can completely create a look. But did you know the LBD broke gender social barriers and helped push fashion forward throughout the decades? This is the history of the little black dress. Historically, the color black has always been a dramatic color with dramatic symbolism. All the way back to the ancient Greeks and Romans, they dyed the clothing black for funerals and for mourning. In the 16th century, the color became a symbol for wealth among Europe royalty and upper echelon, because black dye was expensive and difficult to maintain at the time. Black also became an emblematic color for religion. Then during the early 18th century, the dark color transitioned into a color for art. The Victorian era saw black retain its traditional meaning for grief and mourning, but after the mid-19th century, it was also revived as a stylish color for men. For women, for centuries, wearing a black dress was a clear sign for mourning. Wearing black dresses when you're not mourning was considered distasteful. However, you were allowed to wear the color if you were a domestic servant. Black was the standard uniform color for house staff because it was inexpensive and easily washed. By the late 19th century though, black became acceptable for women's evening wear. The portrait Madame X caused a controversy with its plunging black evening gown. While the painter was considered inappropriate and provocative, the dress became a source for inspiration during the 20th century. The women during the Edwardian era decided to ditch the tight corsets from the Victorian era for a more loose and relaxed styles. This was in line with the new woman ideal that was about seeking radical change. By the First World War, women's clothing was simplified and even became androgynous. While black was still a mourning color, the war and other events leading up to the war made it versatile, with the color becoming very popular for daywear, workwear, and special occasions. This gave way to the revolutionary jazz age that changed fashion forever. The 1920s was a revolutionary time for women. They earned the right to vote and were becoming part of the workforce. Women also began participating in outdoor sports, and a group of women known as flappers started embracing a different lifestyle. And this all reflected through fashion. Women in the workforce needed clothing that was accessible. Women playing sports wanted freedom of movement, and flappers were all about comfort. Women needed versatility. Decades before, they were told to have different dresses throughout the day, and the LBD was that one piece that was all those things. The person who understood what women wanted and needed most was Gabrielle Coco Chanel. Chanel always wanted women to be comfortable. She wanted to free women from restricted clothing and challenge social norms with her designs. In 1926, Vogue published a drawing of Coco Chanel's now iconic little black dress. The dress was simple with a round neckline, low narrow sleeve, and a skirt that sat right below the knee. The dress was very much of its time with a shapeless silhouette favored among women. And black was nothing new to Chanel. She incorporated the color in her collection all the way back in 1917. She actually was trying to make the color fashionable for a long time because she was tired of all the other colors and thought that the absence of colors such as black was, quote, the only ones to see. And for a long time, people didn't get it and considered black to be too dramatic or only for mourning. In October 1926, Vogue compared the little black dress to the black Model T Ford motor car. Just like the car, the little black dress was affordable, simple, and revolutionary. Besides the color black being used for technology, it was also used in visual arts and architecture, so it became a modern color. The 20s was a time all about modernity and pushing forward, so the little black dress was considered the cutting edge of fashion. Also, the little in the little black dress refers to both the simplicity of the dress and the popular length of skirts during that time, usually just below the knee. Chanel was not the one who shortened the length of dresses or even created the color black. She understood women of her time and gave them what they wanted. This also showed the impact of fashion publication early on, because Vogue helped make Chanel's LBD mainstream, and because of everything that was going on in the 20s, black became an official fashion color, and the little black dress became the ultimate fashion statement. Popularity for the little black dress would grow even more throughout the 1930s and 40s. The 30s was a decade defined by the Great Depression, and the 40s was a decade defined by the Second World War. Women during these two decades required simple and affordable fashion, and the little black dress was just that. It was modern, versatile, and still aligned with the new woman ideal for seeking radical change. While the shapeless silhouette was really popular in the 20s, the 1930s and 40s dresses became slimmer and fitted to the body. The sleeves also became shorter, and designers started experimenting with different cuts and details. One of those designers was Christian Dior. With a focus on ultra femininity and the hourglass shape, Dior introduced the New Look. Not everyone was a fan about Dior's New Look though. Feminists of the time believed that it was a step backward for women's fashion. Here they are embracing a more comfortable and practical style. Then you have Dior introducing a tight-fitted jacket with padded hips and A-line skirts. This of course changed the silhouettes of the LBD, and the fashion world applauded Dior for setting a new path for fashion. He also coined the term cocktail dress around the same time for women's evening attire, and inspired other fashion designers to transform the LBD into a glamorous and luxurious statement. And all of this happened during the golden age of Hollywood. Filmmakers loved the little black dress because unlike other colors, black didn't appear disorienting on screen. So you have famous actresses like Rita Hayworth and Marilyn Monroe graciously gracing the silver screen in their LBD. It helped define old Hollywood glamour by becoming a staple for the screen divas on and off screen. Then in 1961, Audrey Hepburn wore what was regarded as the most famous little black dress in fashion history. The dress was designed by Givenchy for the film Breakfast at Tiffany. He accessorized the dress with a pearl choker and opera gloves. The look became an instant classic and set a trend for the new decade. The little black dress is gonna live up to its little name as we go through the decades. In the 60s, young people dominated fashion. They had access to affordable clothing and began following trends that rejected older generations' ideal. With the introduction of mod style, the skirts got shorter and showing off your knees was a hot new thing. Even though the decade was dominated by bold colors and patterns, the LBD remained a must-have. By the 70s, the little black dress was already a staple, and with the rise of casual wear during this era, the classic dress was whatever the free-spirited people of the 70s wanted it to be. Emergent punk style also influenced the LBD by giving it a rebellious twist with metallic and leather accessories. Designers throughout the decades kept the little black dress evolving, and the 80s was no exception. Top designers from Azzedine Alaïa to Karl Lagerfeld transformed and deconstructed the classic dress for their pleasure. And because it was the 80s, the LBD was accessorized with heavy accessories and bold details. But when did the little black dress become the little black dress? That was in the 90s. Whether it was strap or strapless, the LBD went mainstream with its now identifiable traits: a low-cut neckline, slim-fitted dress with a skirt that sat right at the thigh. From the runway to the red carpet, the 90s gave us so many iconic moments. One moment that constantly gets mentioned is Princess Diana's revenge dress. She wore the dress the same night Prince Charles admitted to his affair. The 2000s began a new millennium, and this new decade was dominated by the idea that sex sells. So in addition, fashion trends revolve around revealing clothes. And with the 2010s being dominated by fast fashion, the little black dress was truly in every woman's closet. Today, the LBD is a classic. It's a no-brainer, and there are endless amount of styles. It is recommended by literally all stylists to own at least one little black dress because you never know when you might need it. And that's a little history on the little black dress. Thank you so much for watching. If you found this video informative, please give it a like. Comment your favorite little black dress. Also, make sure to subscribe for more fashion-related videos. I'm Pathe, and remember to keep living that fashion life. Bye!